Hello traders, Pecanzington from Gold Medal Penny Stocks here today, and I want to talk to you about the stock chart for VRNI, Virogen Incorporated, which is an OTC markets traded stock. So the first thing I want to point out here is that VRNI actually, this is non-chart related by the way, but the first thing I want to point out is that VRNI recently put out news that they're going to be entering the marijuana sector, which has been a pretty hot sector lately with the legalization passing in Colorado and Washington for legal use, and probably going to see Oregon soon to follow and several other states. So this is a huge growth potential market, and there's a lot of speculation there right now. Most stocks in dealing with that sector have actually bounced out of the sub-pennies to over a penny, most of them. RFMK I think is the only one under 005 even, aside from VRNI. So we should be seeing some pretty big moves here on VRNI just based on the fundamentals alone. But let's talk about the stock chart here. So the first thing I want to point out here is that we've recently been trading between 0001 and 0002, but we broke out of that little kind of price channel recently with the news. The news is what pushed us up over. So another thing I want to point out here is that in this consolidation period, we've been trading within the Bollinger Bands within the Keltner channels, and that's a sign that this has been under extreme consolidation. As you can see here, the Bollinger Bands, it's really tough to see, but right here is let me change this to white really quick, the bottom Keltner channel, and it's actually expanded to contain the Bollinger Band, which is this blue line. And here you can see that the Bollinger Band is within the Keltner channel as well. So extreme consolidation, and when this breaks up, it's going to break up hard. At least that's the general trend for the Keltner channels outside of the Bollinger Bands under consolidation. So that's something we have to look forward here too. 0005 has been a short-term little resistance line. So we break above that, and we're setting up pretty nicely to move up and test the 7s. And when the 7s fall, it's pretty much clear skies, clear blue skies, according to the chart. So the next thing I want to point out here is that the RSI is currently sitting at about, for the 14 period, 49.39. The buy zone is generally considered to be anything between 50 and 70. So as you can see, this is looking pretty bullish here. We're about to hit into that buy zone, and again, our RSI 5-period RSI is currently sitting above the 14-period RSI, which is bullish in itself. So there's plenty of room to run here, and RSI is looking bullish. You can also see that we had bullish divergence here as the price per share was, or as the RSI was trending up, finding higher lows, while the price per share was actually finding lower lows, actually hitting these 0001s down here. So these 0001s found some new downside here. So that's what's considered bullish divergence. It's a positive sign going into the future, bullish sign. You can see that the MACD is also curling up, and it's bullishly crossed over already. We're seeing some more bullish divergence there. Next indicator I want to point out is the CMF. 0.2 for the CMF is considered bullish, 0.4 is considered extremely bullish, and we are currently sitting at 0.501. So this is beyond extremely bullish. There's a ton of retail accumulation here, which is what the CMF basically indicates. So as you can see, we're looking very solid in terms of accumulation here. And that's also backed up by the recent volume here. Speaking of volume, you can see the volume by price over here. You can see that most of the shares that have been accumulated at the higher prices have been slapped off the ask. You can see that there was more green volume than red volume at these higher price levels, which means there's a lot of people holding shares from in the 00s, 002, 001, 0015, that area. There's a lot of people holding shares that high that aren't just going to want to sell for a loss. They're going to want to push up the share price and look to exit with either even or with profits. So that will help carry the stock, the fact that there's a lot of people holding shares from much higher prices. Williams % R just recently came out of overbought category up here, and that's actually considered bullish on a stock if the Williams % R is overbought. So if we see this rebound up into that zone and continuously bounce in and out of it, that's a very bullish signal for short-term momentum. As you can see, the ADX line, it's a trend strength indicator. It's starting to curl up. It's currently not into a relevant area. When it crosses above 20, it's going to be considered relevant. So As you can see here, it's at 16.61. The plus DI line, which is the green one, is above the ADX and above the minus DI, which is the red line. So we've got a bullish trend starting to form here, and when it crosses above 20, it's going to be considered pretty relevant. So that could be what indicates for sure that this is going to break above double zeros. And again, you know, this is the only real pot stock, marijuana stock that's trading under a cent right now. So that's something we really want to keep our eyes on in this really high growth and speculative market. There could be a lot of new money coming in here. Next thing I want to point out is how hard the ROC just spiked up. That's a volatility indicator. And how hard it spiked up is just saying that there's a ton of short-term momentum. Like, volume just kind of came out of nowhere with that news. Very, very strong volume, very strong buying pressure came in and shot up the ROC. So as you can see, extreme volatility here. Price is going to be moving like crazy, in my opinion, on Monday. And the last indicator I really want to point out here to you guys is the tricks indicator, which is another short-term momentum indicator. And as you can see, it's just now getting its bullish cross with a very strong curl up. And this should continue to curl up bullishly and hopefully break above zero again. And we'll be looking very, very bullish with all indicators. So VRNI, VRNI Incorporated, OTC Markets Traded Stock. Definitely on Hot Watch Monday. So keep your eyes peeled for this one. It could be a big mover. I'm not a professional financial advisor, so please just watch this video for entertainment purposes only. Don't use anything I said or showed you as a buy or sell signal, because that's on your own. That's your own accord right there. So you're responsible for your own decisions investment-wise. Good luck. Thanks for watching.